This was the second time I tried salvia, the first being 2 days earlier. I am a member of the now defunct Church of the Tree of Life, and had obtained a live specimen back in 1979, and it must have been good stuff, as my 2 cats scaled several bookshelves in order to attack and devoured it. They were fond of fresh cannabis also. I had also experimented with coleus several times with no noticeable results. Anyways, I got together with a tripping buddy at about 1 p.m. I had read a lot of trip reports and had a pretty serious attitude about our endeavor. His approach was a bit more cavalier. At 1 o'clock we each did a hit of MJ. At 1:05 we both took 3 droppers of the sage essence. While I held mine in my mouth for a full 10 minutes, he swallowed his at 4 or 5 minutes, and then took an additional 2 droppers. Even before I reached the 10-minute mark, one was feeling effects that seemed to start in my mouth and throat. One thing I have not read in other trip reports is a mention of euphoria, which I definitely did feel. I also felt myself move into a semi-familiar state of tripping. That is to say, I was definitely tripping, but with a different flavor than acid or shrooms. My friend was a bit restless, and I later found out that he wasn't anywhere near where I was. He said that he felt a few minutes of a gelatinous feeling, and a rather narcotic feeling after that, but nothing else. On the other hand, I was able to close my eyes and see colorful swirls. After a few more minutes I was feeling as though I was in between worlds, or realities, that I was existing in the barrier between these realities. Behind me was myself and the physical existence, and in front of me was an expansive, infinite reality filled with all sorts of images, stars, planets, beams of energy, expanding in all directions. All these things were sort of half seen and half felt. I then became aware of a bluish, purple form in front of me. It was undulating and morphing, but never took on a definite shape. The unique thing at this point was that the form and the space in front of me took on a fuller 3D appearance. There was a lot of other stuff going on at this time as well. I remember a feeling of leaves at one point as well. Right about here my friend got up and walked past me, and I was brought back to this side of the barrier. I got up to go to the bathroom, and it was as if I was a foot shorter than I really am. I should also mention that I am diabetic, and I got very dehydrated during this experience. I mean, I peed like crazy. When I sat back down, I tried explaining what had happened to me to my friend. And as I did, I could close my eyes and feel things still going on. The 3D richness had passed, but my hand seemed to move in the other reality. I could feel it. I remember telling him something about open-eye reality, closed-eye reality, and how this experience moved beyond closed-eye reality. Well, it all made sense at the time. I also felt very high, stoned, euphoric during this time. On a second trip to the bathroom, it felt as though I was walking on blocks, but a foot below the level of the floor. I then lay down on the floor and watched the ceiling. There were silhouettes of fractal leaf patterns moving around there. They almost seemed like spotlights, but the edges of the beams were not well defined. I lay there for 30 minutes, watching these beams as they changed color. At some point there seemed to appear a hole, or tube, but it never really developed. It couldn't break through. At this time, we had both pretty much returned to normal open-eye reality, but a narcotic type of feeling continued for another 30 to 45 minutes. I have about a third of this magic bottle left for one more try, and probably will feel compelled to relay that experience as well.